Now 5:30. I now call this special meeting of the Ellensburg School District Board of Directors to order. Thank you, District Administration, for making this meeting accessible to our community, both in person and virtually through Zoom. This special meeting has a very short agenda. The first item, the Ellensburg School District Board enforcement of Washington State's health and safety requirements, has brought forth very strong opinions from our community. I believe the board has heard from another 40 to 50 individuals via email on this topic since our meeting last week. I ask us all to remind ourselves why we sit here today. After talking with parents coming from the many perspectives around this issue, I heard what unites us. I see people trying to make the best of what we have in front of us. I see people passionately advocating for our children and wanting to assure they are safe and given access to the best education possible. Thank you all for sharing your concerns, comments, and possible solutions. As a board, we must find a way to move forward, and I ask us all to please keep creatively looking for solutions, and above all, keep our children as our number one. I must now again remind everybody we are attending in person as mandated, or in person, and those in person have masks on. So as mandated by Governor Inslee. And so I would just like to say, for the record, let the record show that all individuals attending the meeting in person are wearing face masks. And with that being said, board, I would like to ask that we discuss and take action on the ESD board enforcement of Washington State's health and safety requirements. For a quick review, at the end of July, superintendents and school boards were informed that the governor will empower OSPI, the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, to withhold funds from school districts who willfully fail to comply with a health and safety measure required by Governor Inslee. On August 26th, Superintendent Haberer shared with the board the emergency filed rule that defines OSPI's process for districts who willfully fail to comply with the requirements. We see that the rule applies to both the mask mandate as well as the vaccination mandate for school employees. This rule has gone into effect immediately and now stands. Also on August 26th, WASDA, sorry, my screen went blank. Keep moving forward. WASDA, the Washington State School Districts Association, revised updates on holding open public meetings, stating the following. Anyone refusing to wear or continue to wear a face covering has disrupted the board meeting and made it unfeasible. The board must do one of the following. Number one, remove anyone who refuses to wear a face covering, including board members. 2, clear the room entirely and readmit all individuals not responsible for the disruption. The board will admit and readmit any representatives from the news media, except those participating in a disturbance. And this is according to RCW 423050. And number 3, recess or adjourn the meeting to another place or time. I would also like to point out that currently all open public meetings can be held in an entirely virtual format. We, as a board, have supported the return to in-person instruction for our students, teachers, staff, and administration. I think it is important we take the same commitment to return our board meetings to in-person while also being committed to accessibility by offering attendance to our board meetings virtually through Zoom. So, unless there is a need for discussion, I would entertain a motion considering we comply with the governor's mandates and follow WASDA's recommendations on holding open public meetings. I now open it up to the board.
So you said there were 2 options. Oh, sorry. So you said there were 2 options, clearing the room or removing that person.
I believe clearing the room would be easier and less confrontational.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Including Meg?
I don't see Meg up there. I'm trying to look.
Okay.
So to reiterate, you would like a motion on this for a vote?
Yes.
I move that we accept the ESD board enforcement of Washington State's health and safety requirements.
And I second.
All right. Thank you. Tasha has moved that we accept I'm going to make sure I get this right. You said the Washington State health and safety requirements, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Hilda has seconded. Board, is there any discussion, including Meg?
I think the motion said we will enforce those rules.
Can you repeat that, Meg? Sorry.
I believe the motion said that we will enforce those rules. Not only accept, but also enforce.
Okay.
I agree with that correction.
Okay. So Tasha agrees to, I'm gonna,
I'll just say it again.
okay. I think, yep. I know that technically we would need to go back, but I think
Yep.
for this purpose, you're agreeable. So Tasha, you want to
Yes,
restate the motion?
I will restate. The motion is for ESD enforcement of Washington State's health and safety requirements.
Thank you for that restatement. And Hilda, just to confirm, do you
Yes,
still
I second.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Meg, for that clarification. Any other discussion or clarification from the board?
At this time, I don't see this as a political issue or stance. This is a mandate from the governor. We should be focused on our learners and following state guidelines and keeping us fiscally safe. So this is neither here nor there on this. So I agree with following state law.
Thank you. Any other comments, board? All right, then I'm going to call the vote. Jonathan?
Aye.
Tasha?
Aye.
Hilda?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
I also vote aye. So we are approved. Moving forward. All right. So next up, we have one more item on the agenda to review a potential letter to the governor regarding local control, which is a board and district effort after listening to our constituents. Superintendent Haberer, board member Peña Alfaro, and I met to review the draft and possible edits. I will now read aloud the proposed letter. Dear Governor Inslee, Ellensburg School District is asking you to allow for local control regarding COVID-19 risk mitigation measures if ESD is able to demonstrate that we have successfully implemented all layers of mitigation measures and have no outbreaks in our schools by the end of September. We would eagerly agree to continue working closely with Dr. Mark Larson, Kittitas County Public Health Officer, and to adjust our mitigation measures to align with his recommendations. The guidance of Kittitas County Public Health was imperative to our being able to keep our schools open for in-person instruction throughout last year without any outbreaks or closures of our schools. We know from the data coming out of India and the UK that with the Delta spike, it took both countries roughly 4 weeks to see a drop in cases. Health experts are expecting the same impact with cases in the US that they saw in other countries, which would put our cases back down to pre-Delta spike numbers by late September. A one-size-fits-all approach did not work last year, as many large districts were unable to open up because of the state mandates, especially regarding the 6-foot requirement. We were able to provide in-person instruction to our students in the fall because of our commitment to implementing all risk mitigation measures, working closely with Kittitas County Public Health, and doing what was best for the children and families of our community. Moving forward, as a school board, we are asking that you allow us local control in all decisions related to COVID-19 measures that impact our community. As such, we will work closely with Kittitas County Public Health and adjust our mitigation measures to align with the recommendations of Kittitas County Public Health. The Ellensburg School District is committed to working with and supporting the values of our community. We empathize with the pressure you are under and your focus on the health and well-being of all Washingtonians. If we demonstrate the ability to mitigate risks for the month of September without having any outbreaks and seeing a significant decline in the number of Delta cases in Kittitas County, ESD would embrace the opportunity to have local control over the mitigation measures necessary to keep our staff and students safe. Thank you for your consideration to this request. Sincerely, Ellensburg School Board. Ginger and Hilda, do you have any additional comments or clarifications?
I just want to point out that asking for local control is like having the same situation that we have last year, meaning that we follow the advice of Dr. Mark Larson and the guidance of the health department. And we will take the measure that they will find like recommendable or that we need to take in the school board, in the school district. And the reason to ask for local control is basically to pay attention to what is happening in our county that sometimes is not the same that is happening in big school districts. And that's the reason to ask for local control. Just make the clarification.
Thank you, Hilda.
And I fully support the letter and sending it to Governor Inslee.
Okay, thank you, Ginger.
I agree with Hilda, and I appreciate that clarification. This is a letter that in this case is in regarding our COVID situation. But really it's saying in all situations, we want local control. We want to work with our local partners, and we want to take their feedback and take into account what is happening in our county. In this situation, I fully appreciate and acknowledge Kittitas County Public Health's discretion and leadership in this topic. And if in September they have a different recommendation for mitigation, then I'm open to listening to that community partner. But it is working with our community partners and not someone outside. The board, we're not epidemiologists, we're not scientists. We gather reports from our local partners, and we will continue in that. It's important in this situation that we are working and acknowledging County Public Health and our health partners, KVH, what is happening in that community, because the school has a direct impact on them. So I like that we're asking for local control, but this shouldn't be seen as an opinion on how we feel masking or unmasking or how to mitigate COVID. This is simply reiteration of local control.
I would just like to thank you all for the hard work you put into this and for making those edits. I appreciate Hilda, Jason, and Ginger's time. It's great.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any comments, Meg?
Well, I support this letter as long as the recommendations of Kittitas County Public Health continue to be as excellent as they have been. I mean, I think recognition of local conditions is helpful, but I don't want it to be an opportunity for us to be more lax than we might otherwise be because of this letter, or because of this letter being granted local control as a result of this letter.
Thank you, Meg. All right, I don't see any other further discussion. I think my only comment to this is, my hope is this will also help our community come together. It's really feels very divisive right now, and I hope that we can come together and recognize our community needs to get through this together. My hope for this would be a shout out to all of the staff, the teachers, the admin, who have to enforce this at the schools. And my hope is the community will offer them the respect, because they're doing their jobs. They're doing what they're told. It's a mandate. And so that whether they agree with it or not, they have to do that. And so I hope before anybody in the community would take that out on a staff member who's doing their job, that they consider that. So, board, I fully support this, and I think we're moving in the right direction to help support our community and as well as our staff, administration, teachers, and students. So if there's no further discussion, I'm going to call the vote. Or we need a motion. I was like, wait a second. Run this up.
I will make a motion that we approve sending this letter to the governor.
Thank you, Meg.
I second.
All right. Meg has set forth the motion that we approve this letter and send it to the governor. Jonathan has seconded. Board, any further discussion?
How are we delivering the letter? Because is someone delivering in person or just through the mail?
So the plan was to send it, Ginger? Yeah, Ginger clarified to send it. We'd send this via mail, US mail, correct? Okay. Any other discussion? All right, if there is not, then I will call the vote. Jonathan?
Aye.
Tasha?
Aye.
Hilda?
Aye.
Meg?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. So we have board approves to send this letter to the governor. Thank you very much. So our last piece is there any clarifications or next steps? I do not see any from the administration, board, anything?
No.
Then I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
And I second.
All right. Tasha has moved that we adjourn. Hilda has seconded. And with that, we are now adjourned. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.